Amazon Darren here, giving you a look at the new Amazon Fire TV box, which looks identical to the Generation 1 Amazon Fire TV box. So what are the differences? Well, the only real physical difference, other than a slightly nicer plastic, is that they got rid of the optical port and put in a micro SD card port, which is great, but also sucks for people like me who are relying on that optical port. And to get around that for my particular setup, I had to go and buy a little HDMI to optical adapter for like 35 bucks because I use a projector and a sound bar and it just won't work without such an adapter. So right off the bat, I want to address there's a lot of people having issues on Amazon. The rating right now is terrible and a lot of stuff going on. So I want to see if I can address some of those. The 5.1 support. Apparently right now it ships with just 5.1 surround support for Amazon-based videos, nothing on Netflix or other stuff. So that's a little suspicious, but Amazon already responded to that outcry and said they are going to fix that. So other than that, a lot of people just had glitches overall and just things being buggy. I'm suspicious of the Wi-Fi. That's what I think might be the culprit. I always plug my box directly into Ethernet. I don't like using the Wi-Fi because I remember when I got the first gen box, the Wi-Fi just seemed a little iffy. So I stopped using it altogether and I just plugged directly into my router and I've been completely satisfied ever since. And maybe that's why I have not experienced really any glitches or bugs with my new Amazon Fire TV box, or maybe there's a quality control issue and I got a particularly good one, but hard to say. So the other thing I want to quickly show you is how do you open up the battery door for the remote? Because a lot of people apparently have been having issues. Well, on the back there's a little symbol right there. All you gotta do is put your thumb on the symbol and press down. There it is. It's open. You can even just take two hands, put it back together, and just go like that. Press in and down, very simple. Hopefully that's just as simple as it is, but maybe some folks have gotten stuck battery doors. Maybe the quality control is on the fritz. So, but if it's not doing as easy as that, then yeah, maybe something else is going on. So the big headline feature really is the 4K ability of this box. First thing to know right up off the bat about that, just because it says it does 4K does not mean everything you watch is magically becoming 4K. Something has to be specifically labeled as 4K or Super HD or UHD. The other thing is you obviously need a 4K TV. It doesn't magically make 4K appear on your older TV. The other thing is that Netflix, you actually have to pay another $4-ish a month to unlock the Ultra HD abilities of it. Go into your settings, you'll see you have to bump it up from $8 to $12 a month for that. And one other thing, I don't have a 4K TV yet, but other users have reported that apparently you need a TV that has HDMI 2.0 as well as HDCP 2.2 for the full 4K to actually work properly. So I can't test that, but that appears to be what the thing is. So certainly the 4K is a bit jumpy in terms of getting everything to work right off the bat. So you might want to look into all those details to make sure it'll work for you if you're expecting it to. Next up, more power than the original box. They claim 75% more power, but they arranged the RAM a little bit differently for the graphics apparently. So it's hard to say whether or not it's a really big step or maybe a small step or a side step. All I know is that movies still play fine. The scrolling from everything is still very snappy and quick. Loading maybe a hair faster, and games, the few I've tried, look about the same. Maybe they load a little faster, but I'm really hoping Amazon does push to put some higher end games on this. Of course, this is not going to replace an Xbox or a PlayStation. Although maybe like the PlayStation 1 or Xbox One, original ones, maybe it's up to those standards. But I just hope they really expand it to be a little bit more than just the games that were originally meant for tablets and phones, because the new game controller is excellent. It's a great refinement over the Gen 1 game controller, which I liked very much, except for the slight analog dead zone sticks. So that is that appears to be gone. The new controller seemed just as good as the Xbox and PlayStation controller. So the gaming edition might be worth a look, although the one thing about the gaming edition I'll mention, even though this is meant for the non-gaming edition, the gaming edition only comes with the game controller. It does not come with the regular remote, and that is kind of silly. And as you can see, there's a dog just being really annoying in the back there, making noise. Try to ignore him. I know he's cute, but I'm trying to get you some information here. Next up is the playback from USB. I took a USB stick, put a file on it, plugged it into the USB port. I downloaded the ES File Explorer and I clicked on it and it played back a 1080p MP4 file, no problem at all. I didn't realize when I tried to plug in my old box again just to test it, it worked just the same. I don't know when they added that functionality to the old box, but I remember specifically when I bought this, when they first came out, the definitive answer was no playback off of USB. Apparently that is now possible. The one thing I could not play back right off the bat was MKV files. But when I installed Kodi, which I already had on the original box, tried it out, that played the MKV file perfectly, no issues. Audio and video, they're good to go. What else is there? The Alexa functions. We have the Amazon Echo. We love using it for home use, but I don't understand yet why they've included it in this, because it really just doesn't have a lot of functionality that pertains to this. I don't need to know the weather on this. I'm not going to turn the TV just to look at the weather. So hopefully they add something that makes a little more sense for it as a media box. Little frequently asked questions. Is Netflix free? Does it come with the box? It's a subscription just like a cable bill. So you gotta give Netflix $8 a month and it opens up a huge amount of stuff. But if you're already getting the Amazon box, it makes sense to get Prime membership. Prime membership is still $100 a year. I've been using it, been happy with it, so it's a good thing to look into. It gives you a lot of Netflix type access, but obviously a little bit different. So take a look. This is obviously built around that ecosystem and it opens up a lot of functionality for it. So next up, are there free apps you can get for this? Yes, there are a lot of free channel apps that give you access to free movies and TV shows, but just don't expect them to be all the new releases. A lot of it's older stuff. Big question is, which one should you get? Well, if you already have the original Gen 1 Fire TV box, I'd have a really hard time saying you should upgrade unless you specifically have use for one of the new features like 4K. You have all those 4K requirements. Or if you just want to maybe beef up the gaming, if Amazon does actually release some higher end game support. So other than that, I would really recommend the stick for a lot of folks. The stick costs less than half the price. It has most of the functionality. It plays Netflix, Hulu, and all those different things. You know, I'll mention Plex has always worked well for me for both the stick and the Gen 1 box, and works just as well with the Gen 2 box. Yeah, plays just fine. That's all I can say about that. So anyways, if you just need basic streaming like Hulu, Netflix and stuff, the stick really does work quite nicely. If you already have a TV that has those things built in, just look at the feature set of these guys and see if it has something extra that might be useful for you, or if your TV's one has a particularly glitchy or slow or long loading time type of feature set within their apps, then maybe you should grab a box or a stick. So that is pretty much it. This is Amazon Darren. I'm gonna be doing some more testing. If I find anything else new about it, or if I find any more glitches, I will let you know. Be sure to comment if you have any specific questions. Until next time, Amazon Darren, Fire TV Box. I love reviewing, and if you have a product or service you would like reviewed, get in touch and I will give it the full run through.